What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, episode 36. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Bryce DeWitt. How you going, dude?
I'm pretty wonderful. You are wonderful yourself.
Thank you. Today on the show, we're going to be this is going to be a more lighthearted discussion on just whatever Nintendo. I think the last couple of weeks has been pretty full on for Bryce and I, with the Easter long weekend, working in hospitality in a small beach town. A lot of tourists, and
many tourists.
Yeah, so that was our weekend, and that's why we unfortunately missed last week's episode. But we are sorry about that. And I was actually, like, when Bryce and I were talking about it, I said, oh, well, you know, no one's going to notice. It's okay.
But, yeah, we had a few people that actually did notice.
Yeah, we had in our Discord community.
Which you should join, by the way.
Yes, the House of Mario. We had Metadocs and JDP Cart 18. They come up and said, oh, where's the episode? And now that actually made my day. It really did, guys. Thank you so much. Like, holy shit, if someone actually notices, we're not just putting this out into the void for
no one to see.
No one to see. At least we know 2 people are listening, which is fantastic. I'm happy with that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, you know, opening up the Discord, checking notifications, and seeing something like that, you know, gives us a reason to, you know, want to keep going and do that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're not in the Discord community, jump in. We're more than happy just to talk about games, Nintendo, life, I don't know, whatever.
No, yeah, 100%.
Because I'm sure you don't have enough Discord communities as it is.
Well, I mean, you want to see my lists?
Yeah, mine's actually pretty tame. I've got probably 2 others that I'm in regularly, like checking.
I have to scroll.
You have to scroll? Yeah.
I have to scroll my bar.
I actually don't yet.
That's what happens when something is free and completely accessible and takes 2 seconds to sign up and
yeah,
you know, just join it. That's the moral of the story.
Just the moral of the story.
Yeah.
So this week we don't have a guest. We don't have a big topic to cover for the whole show. But I just want to talk about pretty much what we're playing and sort of naturally move on from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, have you been playing anything in particular you would like to start off with?
Well, I mean, I'm playing Bayonetta 1 at the moment again.
Oh yeah, you picked up Bayonetta 2 on Switch, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. And it's really good.
Mm.
You know, I think it performs better on the Switch than it did on the Wii U, which is great news. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But amongst that, you know, I also went on a bit of a chunking spree. Just dumped a bunch of cash on the EShop and went for a run.
Right. Yeah.
Picked up a couple of things, you know, Blossom Tales. Picked up Mummy Demastered and stuff like that.
Yeah. Have you played much of Blossom Tales yet?
No, I haven't. I have not.
Yeah.
I know you highly recommend it, but I got to the ceremony at the start and then couldn't figure out where to go after that, and I had to get ready for work, and I'm like, all right, okay, I'll put it down. I'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's as far as I've gotten. But I see. When you were discussing it a while back, I see what you mean by the charm of it, of, like, you know, a grandfather telling a story and the kids sort of interrupting and saying, yeah, something like that come up in the start already, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I like how they play with it, sort of like, no, that didn't happen. It was like this, Granddad, and that goes back.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was really cool. But you know, obviously, I've got a lot more to see yet, so yeah, I'm going with that.
So, you're starting off with Bayonetta 1. You're going to play through that, then go to 2.
I started playing Bayonetta 2 a little bit beforehand, and this is something that happened to me this week, which really sucked. But I had a old micro SD, and I was just like, you know what? I've got no room in my Switch left. I need to put in an SD. I've been holding off buying a card for a while, which I really shouldn't do, but I did. So whatever. I put it in. I started downloading things. I had to go out for dinner. I came back, and the card had corrupted itself. And then I'd actually figured out that every time I went over a certain amount in my micro SD card, it would just automatically corrupt everything. So I stuck playing Bayonetta 2 for a couple of hours that night, and then following day I went and grabbed a new card, and re-downloaded Bayonetta 1 and I'm going through that again. I've already finished it before, but for the sake of playing through it, I felt like, hey, I'll play through it before Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, because I bought the Bayonetta 2 when it came out on Wii U, back when it came out with both 1 and 2 in the same collection.
Yeah.
And I played a bit of Bayonetta 2. I think I just played it literally once for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I played it in like one big slog. I just never got back to it. I don't know why. Probably the problem we all have. It's just not getting...
It's just a backlog thing. You go, this game's alright, and then you look at something and you're like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same sort of thing. The thing is, though, is like I really liked Bayonetta 1 and I thought it was a fantastic game.
Yeah. So on Switch, is it just a port of the 360 version, or is it upped a bit, or...
I actually think it might be a port of a port. Port of the Wii U version.
Yeah. Oh, but was the Wii U version upped from the 360 version?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so
it's a port of a port of a port.
Port.
The reason I say port of the Wii U version is because of the exclusive costumes and stuff like that. I would imagine it was just easier for them to port the Wii U version again.
Yeah, well, there's no reason. There's nothing wrong with it. But
No.
I was just curious, yeah.
It runs really well on the Switch, and like in handheld mode, it's nice. And I really like Bayonetta, so I don't have too much of a problem. What if there was an issue with it? But nothing will ever be as bad as the abysmal PS2 release Bayonetta had.
Yeah.
So I don't think I was too worried when I was purchasing it.
They should have ported the PS3 version. Just
oh god, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, no. And give you major death stare for that one. Absolutely not. But what about you?
I haven't played much on Switch at all, but one thing that is also on Switch is I finally got around to playing the Telltale Batman game. I've only played episode 1, but yep. I'm not a huge Batman guy, but I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like it's got a lot of QuickTime events, which you would expect from Telltale games, but it's really action focused.
Well, yeah, it'd have to be, surely.
Yeah, and a lot of gamers just hate QuickTime events, but I thought it really drew you into like the fight scenes. Like you're watching a movie, you're like, oh, this is like it's fun, it's getting your adrenaline up. But when you're actually like having to press buttons in times and move stick left to right to dodge punches, I thought it was really good. I'm really interested where the story is going. Apparently, if you're a Batman fan, it really mixes things up.
Right.
But I don't know jack shit about Batman, so I'm not going to get any of that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'm playing that on PlayStation, actually, not on Switch. And I want that to lead into a discussion about some Switch game pricing on the eShop. So, Season 1 of Telltale's Batman is $62 on Switch.
Yeah.
Which, when that originally came out, and I went and checked it, because I wanted to get it on Switch.
Yeah.
And that game launched everywhere else for $45 Australian. And it's 62 whatever, on Switch. And not to mention that it's on sale all the time, especially now, because it's a year or two old. I'm not sure how old it is.
Yeah, it's decent age.
Yeah, so it was free on PlayStation Plus. And you can pick it up for $10 at the moment on sale on the PlayStation, and Xbox and PC is probably similar. So I'm just want to have a discussion about, sort of some Switch games that come out from smaller developers or whatever, and it's the price is in line, or sometimes it's even cheaper. It's weird, but yes, there's some instances like that where it's like way over.
I mean, before we started the episode, I said I wanted to talk about the eShop briefly anyway, so this works out just fine.
Yeah.
The thing is like I said, I dumped a bunch of money and I bought a bunch of games, and because I love the eShop, I've loved it on 3DS and the Wii U as well. My 3DS is chock-a-block full with eShop stuff, including like full price games that I was just like, man, I want to play that. So I bought like Fire Emblem Awakening digital and stuff like that. And I'm going the route of it slightly with the Switch, but I feel like storage is a bit more of an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I was looking at when it was on sale, Resident Evil Revelations 2. I'm like, oh, I've got a bit of credit to spend, and it's $22, so it'll end up costing me probably $7 or whatever. And I'm like, go into it, it's like 23 gig. I'm like, oof.
Yeah, it's way too big.
Yeah. I've got a huge SD card. I've got 256 gig SD card, and I've got the room for it. But even then, I'm like, oh,
that's still a lot of room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It sort of more or less begs the question as to why that can fit on a micro SD, but they didn't put that in the Switch.
yeah.
I would assume that it's due to stability reasons, so I'm not going to harp on about it too much. The more data you get on the smaller of a card, the more unstable it is. It's not full fledged. That's why all the saves are saved on primarily the system memory.
Oh, you can only put them on the system memory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why they've done that. Anyway, so we were talking about pricing. It is strange. There is some games that are perfectly fine on the pricing, and then there's some that are just ridiculously take Attack on Titan 2 as a primary example. I think that was one that caught everyone's attention. It was like $110. That's a lot of money.
Then wasn't the special edition 150?
150.
Why 110? That's huge.
I don't know. I'm not even interested in buying the game. I didn't play the first one. But when I look at it, I just go, God, that was a big controversy, because it's the most expensive full-fledged game on the eShop.
Like, to be honest, I don't know how much it is on PlayStation or Xbox or Steam.
The thing is if you walk into EB Games right now and you see anything come from Japan, it'll start off at a base price of $99. Some cases like Monster Hunter World, for some reason at EB Games it's $110. Everywhere else it's got it for $79, so God knows why that is. It just, I don't know. I think it begs the question, because there was like a whole thing going around. It was like a mini conspiracy where it's just like the Nintendo tax hike, where they're kind of just like, maybe Nintendo demand more coming from their store in terms of cash value or something like that.
Yeah, because it was a huge, or still is a huge issue.
Oh yeah,
because as consumers, I don't want to be going and paying twice or a third more.
Hell no.
On Switch, just like I do understand in this case, like Telltale's case, I do get that them going, okay, we've got to move it to Switch, costs money, time, like it's not free, like it's not free for them to do it. So, but even then, charging $45 where it's usually on sale elsewhere, I thought that would balance it out.
Yeah, that's where that's where like the thing comes into question as to whether the reason they're putting the prices higher on Switch is because they're paying more monetary value for them to have those games on there, or whether it's I personally don't think it's fair. If they're doing it, they're obviously doing it for a reason, and that's fine, I guess. But the thing is like, if you want people to buy your game on Switch, you got to treat it the same way, right?
Yeah.
And it'd be the same way if we were talking about PlayStation, and they were doing the same thing.
Like, I mean, they wouldn't have made their money back by making it more expensive, because that game never entered the top 20 on the eShop charts.
No, it didn't, because it's too expensive.
Because I noticed it dropped right out. It didn't even chart in the first week.
No, it didn't. No. The thing is like these developers, they're like, hey, we need to raise the price on this, and maybe Nintendo is charging them more to have their stuff on the eShop, sure, but what's the point if it's not selling?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like, especially if you're a Switch owner, you probably have an Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC. You probably got one of those.
You'd have to have one of those things, right?
Yeah, and you probably have an iPhone or an Android phone that can also run it.
Literally.
So you've got at least probably two other options where you're like, okay, I'll get it there because it's probably like $40 cheaper.
We're in the era where phones can run games like PUBG or Fortnite or something like that nowadays. It's like a big open area with no loading zones and stuff like that. Sure, it doesn't look the fucking greatest at all, but do you know what I mean? It's like we got to keep up with that market as well. In terms of like they've got games like that are completely free to play.
Don't have to go that far. Just don't.
No, I know.
If it was if the game was $60 everywhere, it's like, okay, the game 60. That's what they're charging.
Mm-hmm.
But the game was out for probably I don't know exactly, but let's just say 6 months.
Yeah.
And then it comes out on Switch, and I was like, oh, cool, Telltale. Like, I really like Telltale games. I'm keen for this Batman game. Then it came out, it was like $62.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
And like in my personal opinion, I'd rather see. I understand that like Batman was their platforming branch, but it would have been great to see like a Telltale collection of games of some kind.
Yeah,
as their first entry.
That's a good point. You could get the collection for probably $30.
Yeah.
If you wait for a sale, or I don't know how much it is standard, but
look, I would have loved to have seen like Walking Dead on there as a collection, for example, and we were talking about it not yesterday, day before, whenever we were coming home from work. That like The Walking Dead was fantastic. Loved the shit out of that game. It was so good. And I'd love to play it again, and I'd absolutely love to play it on Switch.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they're going to charge me $60, I'd rather just launch it on my PC.
Yeah.
I know that's like, hey, you're rebuying a game again, so you're wasting money anyway. And then I'm like, well, not if it's cheaper. Not if it's cheaper. But because it's $60 it's not worth my time.
Yeah. Like, probably another example, which is, well, this is nowhere the same boat, but like when Doom gets ported, like, oh sweet, Doom on a portable system, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it comes out for full price, which is fair enough. They've put so much work into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make it hard when you go onto Steam or whatever, and it's $8.
It does.
That makes it hard.
Yeah, and look, like I do understand that, and I'd love to support Bethesda, and you know, I'd love to support them more because they're putting a lot into this. It is hard because I have most of those games on my PC already.
Yeah,
I have Wolfenstein, which is coming out later this year.
Yeah, see, I've saved my Wolfenstein 2 purchase for the Switch.
For Switch, yeah,
because I bought Skyrim because I hadn't played Skyrim. I still haven't really played Skyrim. I put it in loaded it onto the system and sort of done the first sequence, but that's all I've done on the Skyrim. Yeah, but I want like, because Bethesda's stepping behind it and putting full-fledged, awesome, like 200-hour games on it. And
they are putting work in,
especially when I saw Wolfenstein 2. Like, shit, that's a game that came out last year. And when they announced that, it wasn't even, they hadn't released it yet.
No, yeah.
So they're really backing the thing. So yeah,
save your purchase for it. Yeah,
yeah.
But that's what I'm like with Doom. I'm kind of like, I need to go back and play Doom, and I wanted to play Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
in more of my setting.
I guess more of my issue with Doom was I got it on PlayStation. I tried to really push through it. I'm like, I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm the only person in like our friend group who says that, and I'm like, oh, I guess it's just not for me. Like, it's not bad by any means. I'm just sort of like, it's not really scratching an itch I thought I had an itch for just like getting in and shooting stuff. But
I think the appeal of this Doom, is more about the fights, like the boss battles.
Yeah,
because they're really like mechanic based, and they kind of test your ability to keep shooting, but also keep moving, and you know, moving in creative ways or using weapons in creative ways to do your damage and stuff like that. Whereas like Doom is essentially just room to room. Like outside of that, it is just room to room clearing. You know, it's nothing like ultra special.
Yeah.
It does follow similar conventions to Wolfenstein, however, but Wolfenstein's got more of a story to it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think it's got probably 100% more of a story.
Well, it does, yeah. It depends, like, if you want to go back and play through the other ones, or whether you just want to read a synopsis or not. But
yeah,
you know, in the end, that game is gonna. I think that's gonna be a friggin' fantastic game, and it's great to see like that's coming onto the system.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Wolfenstein 2, they actually shown footage yet. Don't know what PAX it is, but there's a PAX on in America at the moment.
PAX East.
It's East, yeah. They're showing footage for that, and Firewatch. I think Firewatch got announced for Switch as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I don't know how interested I am in.
Have you played Firewatch?
I haven't, no. But I hear it's really short, and you know,
It's not too short. Like, if you get it for the right price for however much you want to spend on a game, it will last you 4 hours. And
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like 3 or
Yeah.
4 hours.
because when it first came out, it was $30. I'm like, okay, maybe not $30.
No,
but-
yeah, that's my
but
issue.
then it was on sale for 20, 15 about. I'm like, okay, that's more
That's more reasonable.
That's a
Yeah.
price I'm happy with. So, yeah, I picked it up probably a couple of years ago. No, I really enjoyed it, just going through it. And
Oh, well, the thing is I have seen everything about it
yeah,
at this point.
yeah. So if you know the narrative, Yeah.
Well, yeah,
do you know the narrative? Is that
yeah.
yeah.
I know the entire thing. I know exactly what happens. I know I know everything that happens in between the start and the end.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'd be missing out on anything, but at the same time, it's just like if that comes to Switch and it was already $30 on prior release when it was on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever. What's it going to be when it hits the Switch? Is it going to be $40? Is it going to be $50? I don't care. If
Yeah,
it's
good
that
point.
price.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's that price. It's stupid. It's a dumb price.
Ideally, I would hope it's $30 just to be like,
Just to be on even par.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't.
A game like that. To be fair, a game like that, at least say Batman, that'll last you 10 hours
Yeah, and I mean,
at least.
like price differences aside, because I realize that most people are in different countries, but $30 here for us that's a lot. You know, conversions wise, that's a lot. We pay $100 for most of our games. Switch titles have been pretty good. They're about 80 physical.
Most of us are savvy enough to get them for about 70, 80 though.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we're not stupid. You know,
Yeah.
we look for the right price.
it's only EB Games. If you go anywhere else, you go to Target, JB Hi-Fi, whatever, you'll get them for cheaper,
the RRP is
Yeah.
100.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, the recommended retail price is 100 for most games, except Switch. Switch's RRP at 80 or 90 for a third party.
Yeah, so yeah, Nintendo games are $80. Where's third party? Yeah,
Which is not bad.
yeah.
That's okay.
It's weird how that scale works, because stuff like Pokken is $90
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not considered a first party game because it's published by a Pokemon company.
Yeah.
So there's some weird workarounds like that, but
Well, I mean, it typically means that we get our Switch games if we look for the right prices on launch for about 68.
I mean, I got no option because I buy my games digitally, but
Well, yeah, that's your problem, friend.
that is my problem.
I can't. I like the idea of having everything on one console, but realistically, I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way. In the end, I'm going to be able to fit all these eShop titles and all these AAA titles on my Switch. It's not going to happen. I might buy 1 or 2 AAA titles for carry around, like Smash Brothers. I'm super considering it because that is a game that I would never put down anyway, and it'd just be handy to have it on the thing. But the other consideration in the fact is that I think I have 10 physical copies now.
Yeah,
10.
I've got 3 because there's some games where I'm like,
I don't want to download that.
no, not even that. I'm just like, I could. That's actually really cheap. That's $20 saving. Okay, that's worth the $20 saving. Stuff like Mario plus Rabbids, I knew once I finished that, I don't need it on the Switch.
Yeah.
Whereas, stuff like, I'm super happy I got Splatoon, ARMS, Mario Kart, stuff like that on the Switch. Because I'm just like between ARMS, I'm between them all the time.
Okay.
Whereas if I was like, I want to play ARMS. ARMS is on the shelf. I've got to get up. Just dumb shit like that. I've got to get up, take it out the dock, put it in.
I absolutely get it, but I just think it's like the thing is this is coming back to the eShop. Is just like if I find something nice on the eShop, I want to download that, and I want to keep that on my console.
Yeah.
I don't particularly want to shelve out right now for an SD card that's going to cost me upwards of $200 for a decent storage space.
No, yeah, actually, I got mine. Was it a Boxing Day sale? Yeah, $100 for $256.
Yeah, and that's a Boxing Day sale.
Yes, so that was good. I was happy with that.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Just going back to Firewatch, that's probably one of the more recent, like, narrative-driven games. Like, we've seen a lot of interesting stuff come to Switch. Say, 2D platformers, a lot of indie games, but I'm really excited to hopefully see more games like Firewatch come to the Switch.
Yeah, look, nothing against Firewatch from what I said earlier. I'm sure it does have a decent narrative. And that's a game I think, especially when we watch the initial trailer, because we watch E3 together pretty much every year, unless something manages to get in the way. And we saw that and we were like, oh, it looks cool, sort of thing. And like I've never dropped that opinion. It's cool. It's got a nice narrative and stuff like that, but it's just a bit too short for me to spend $40. Anyway, my point being, I do want to see more games like that come to the Switch, absolutely, because I think like they're good chill games, and they're not something that I have to play on the TV. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why they released them on mobile.
Yeah, you put a pair of headphones on, on the couch. Just crawl up, play that, just get immersed in it. Yeah.
It's like reading a book or reading a comic book.
Yeah.
That's what they're like. They're not. They're anti-stress. They're
Yeah, because I've just come hot off the heels of Life is Strange Before the Storm, and that game really just friggin'. I enjoyed it so much. The story just drew me right in, and I'm sort of at the moment I'm just like I want more games like
this.
Give me a fucking awesome story of it I'm going to remember.
As long as they're not 68.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, I really want more games like this on the Switch. Just games with powerful stories.
Well,
and when I saw Firewatch just come out, okay, that's good. That's a good start. Hopefully, more stuff like this comes over.
A good start. Yeah. But I just think, especially when it comes into regards to Telltale, because Telltale hold most of these titles that are like, oh, this has a really good narrative and all that stuff.
So what they've been doing the last decade.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of stuff like, Wolf Among Us was fantastic. I'm still waiting for season 2 of that.
It's coming. They announced it was coming before shit went crap there, but shit went crap.
Yeah, well,
that they announced it when they had layoffs and that, so I don't know what's going on there.
It's been so long, and I'd love to see a collection of 1 and 2 on Switch. That'd be fantastic. I would buy that for $60. Sure.
Yeah,
I would buy that for $60. I wouldn't buy season 1 for $60. I would buy both of them for $60. Just little things like that. I think it's if you're gonna ask a price like that, it's got to be a good game. And I'm not saying they're not good games, but the difference between that and say, something bigger like Mario Odyssey or something like that, it's not far off the price of that.
No, under $20 off of it. Yeah.
Just looking at it from that perspective, it's like I understand that it's probably harder to get stuff on the eShop, or it won't make as much money anywhere else. Maybe that is the case, but that doesn't mean that upping the price is going to make people accept it.
No,
people are going to want to buy it in the cheapest place they can because it's a video game.
Because whoever I say it to, everyone just laughs. Like $62, fuck.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of money.
So, Bryce, you buy heaps of games on the eShop.
I do.
You've got a Steam account.
I do have a Steam account.
How's your backlog? Because I'll just start with mine. Like this year, want to save some money. Just bought a house or whatever. Got to save my money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to just buy every game that.
How's that going for you so far?
It's going good.
Going good?
No, it's going good.
You think?
So like, you know how like, oh, Far Cry 5's out this week. I'm gonna buy that. It's exciting. Everyone's talking about it. Then, a week goes by or 2 weeks go by. People move on to the next thing. You forget about it as well. Drops to the wayside. Goes into your backlog.
Yeah.
So I'm doing as much as I can to be like, all right, I'm not getting sucked into hype. I'm only going to play games that I really want to play and that I should play, to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
Which I've failed the last few weeks because it's been busy.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about an overall backlog as a Steam account holder.
See, I don't even count my Steam account because it's just like you get given shit. It's like no.
I mean, I have over 300 games in my Steam library, and I can guarantee you most of them are finished. There's that, and then I haven't even finished a bunch of Switch titles.
Yeah, even my Switch backlog's getting a bit sad now.
Well, it's because I look at the eShop and then I'm like, hey, this seems cool. I want to get this. I want to get this. I want to get this. Oh, this came out again. I want to get this. No. Backlog is forever going to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I've got so many games ranging back from God knows when. Like, I'm still going to finish.
Yeah. So what I've done with my backlog is I've written all the platforms and I've listed all the games I want to play. And as I play them, I'm going to cross them off. And I've also listed the games coming out this year that I really want to play.
Right.
So like the important games. So I'm not just going to go, new Call of Duty's out this week. Oh, I guess everyone's talking about that. I better get it. Yeah. So we'll see how I go with that.
Yeah.
I've got a lot.
I'm waiting for E3. I'm waiting for E3. That's going to tell me a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's going to tell me how much money I'm going to be spending this year. I know there's a lot of people were like under the duress of like Sea of Thieves and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, cool, looks good. I'm not too interested. And I fell into the Monster Hunter pit kind of because I was just like, you know what, looks good. I want to play it.
Fallen into the pit, and it's exceedingly hard to get a copy of that goddamn game around this place. It's most of the time I see it, or like in a catalog or something, it's gone. So I managed to price match it, got it for cheaper than what EB Games was willing to want me to shill out for it. What, 110?
110.
Jesus.
I got it for 79. I'm like, cool, got it. And I don't have to worry about finding a copy ever again because I remembered how much of a pain in the ass it was to find a copy of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate back on the Wii U days. That was a pain in the ass enough. So I was like, all right, well, I've got it now. I can play it at my own leisure. I don't have to smash it. I've got people that are happy to play with me, even though I'm lower level or whatever. They don't care, and that's fine. But my worry is that E3 this year, we're going to get. I think we're going to get a steady flow of announcements and release dates. For the most part, I don't think I don't think Bayonetta 3 or Metroid Prime 4 are going to be out this year, but Smash is definitely out this year. They've made that very abundantly clear. There's going to be a bunch of eShop titles, and they've got a lot of stuff to sort of break into the mold a little bit. We've already got some info this year of stuff we can buy. Like, there was Kirby, looks great. Don't want to put $80 on it. Can't say that enough about Kirby.
I feel so bad. That's the only thing we're saying about it because we haven't played it. We can't.
Oh no!
Talk about it, but
no, don't get me wrong. Like again, it is.
As we said, got to save our cash.
Look, Kirby's a good series, and I'll say it again. I enjoyed Kirby heaps as a kid on the Game Boy Pocket. I loved it. I played Kirby's Adventure to death. And
wasn't the last one you played, was it?
No, it wasn't. No.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying that's my roots with Kirby.
Yeah.
I've played it since I was young. But $80, no, I'm not going into that again. I just think it's the same thing, and it's the same thing with Yoshi this year. It's $80. Don't think so. I love Yoshi games to death as well. Played them just about as long as
you probably love Yoshi games more.
I do.
You're always going on about the the N64 one.
Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's Story.
Yeah.
They were great games.
Oh, I love Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island. I remember the hype for Yoshi's Island too when it was announced. It was incredible. It was oh my god, it was so good. But I'm definitely going to be picking up Hyrule Warriors. Yes, because it's Zelda and it's a Koei Tecmo Warriors game.
And you're a goddamn sucker for those.
I'm a fucking sucker for them. I still haven't finished Fire Emblem. Just kill me now.
That's sort of the funny thing for me personally. There's not a lot from Nintendo, at least the first half of the year, but I'm super excited about. Just it's a lot of ports and whatever. So that's fine. Like, but I have played those on Wii U, so I'm not too worried. But I think coming into June onwards for me is going to be really exciting. Starting off with Mario Tennis Aces. Really looking forward to that one. Captain Toad is actually a game I didn't play on Wii U, so very keen to get done on Switch.
Oh, I'm not going to bother with it.
You're not?
Nah.
I always wanted to get it, but it's also one of those games where we got what everyone's going to take away from this is we are a bunch of tight asses. We are obviously the tightest ass podcasters out there. All we do is talk about how we're not spending full price.
Well, no, I think it's important to address stuff like that because a lot of people, they drive up the hype. You know, they're like, hey, you know, this is exciting. This is coming out. We're going to talk about this and stuff like that.
Good point.
And, yeah. But at the same time,
I feel like a lot of people are like, this game is great, but they're game journalists who got a code.
Yeah, look,
and like they didn't spend their own money on it.
You've got to be realistic about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't sit there and you can't be like, and again, you know, you would harken back to the Batman Telltale game. You're just like, can I realistically spend $68 on this when it's $30 elsewhere? Yeah, it's you know, not thinking about that kind of thing and not treating that as a possible thing. If your pockets are lined with cash and you can just rip out a $50 note and just throw it at a person and just be like, here you go, fetch me a glass of water, then by all means, you buy whatever you want. I'm not here and in control of your money. But if you want a realistic enough view to say, hey, look, you know, is this really going to be worth your $80 or is it better spent off somewhere else? I think that's important to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? You go to look at a game review is going to tell you pretty much almost always what you want to hear. Unless, you know, they're paid out or whatever. But at the same time...
Jesus, don't get into that.
No, I'm not gonna touch that base.
No, keep going.
But looking at it from the perspective that like video games are different in monetary value for everyone depending on what you want. Do you know what I mean? What if you're willing to pull out $80 and pay $80 for Kirby, then that's you. You know what I mean? But looking at it from a point of view of just the raw basics of it, you know, the content, the amount of effort that would have went into the game and stuff like that.
I'm not too worried about the length. So it could be 2 hours or 20 hours. I'm not that fussed. But just going, I know what Kirby games are like. You sort of just literally float through them. Like, and I don't feel like it's like, oh, remember that level in Mario where, you know, the sun chases you in the Super Mario Bros. 3? Like, you know, there's really iconic moments in that game and some bits are hard and, like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot more, I guess...
A little more meat to it.
Yeah.
No, the thing is like, just thinking about what you said for a second, like you said, like, I don't care if it's 2 hours, don't care if it's 20 hours, but would you pay $40 for $40 per hour of entertainment for 2 hours?
It depends on what it is. If it's
taking consideration the general wage we earn at our job at the moment is about $25 an hour. That's an hour and a half's worth of pay per hour that you pay for that entertainment.
It's definitely pushing it. I probably would wait for a sale.
It's a realistic view,
but
that's what I'm trying to put out there.
I also don't think video games should be priced just on length. If you know what I mean.
No, absolutely not. There's got to be quality there, but at the same time, you're not going to find much quality in 2 hours. Be realistic about that. Do you know what I mean? You might be like, oh, that was a really sad movie-length story that went for 2 hours. It's like, that was great, sure, but then you think about it, you're like, hey, I could have had an optional ending story for the same price that could have been an also great game, you know, for the same price.
No, Bryce, I agree with you. I'm a tight ass as well, don't.
I don't know. It's just thinking about the eShop and like how you know, the stuff that's on there for the price it is, you know, you're going to be realistic about it. In the end, it is your money. You want to spend it the best way you can. So invest in something that's worth your time and your money, and it's going to give you, you know.
I mean, electricity and food is important, so
yeah, well,
make sure you pay that.
You know, if you don't pay your electricity, you can't charge your Switch, so where are you at then?
Yeah, or power your internet router.
You could always eat dirt.
You could. I'll tell you what, you do that and let us know how it goes.
I'll do that for a month.
So before we went back on a rant to our money topic, let's just do a fucking video game finance podcast. What should we call that? The fucking... Just call it the Bank of Mario. I don't know.
Corporate shilling of Mario.
Yeah, you don't want us giving you bloody finance advice. But we were veering to E3 this year, Bryce. So that's coming up quicker than you think it is too.
Well, yeah.
It's April. It's 2 months away. So we know Smash Bros is coming.
Is it April?
It's April, mate.
Jesus.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I just didn't even think about that for a second.
You just zoned out. It was Easter, remember? Easter?
Yeah.
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 April Fool's Day. Remember April Fool's Day?
Yeah, I never got fooled. That's probably why I don't remember. Anyway.
He can't fool you.
No, I'm the unfoolable.
So, hopefully some announcements. We'll probably do an episode in the future which is predicting and doing fun things with E3. But just real quick, do you think they'll have a big game apart from Smash Bros later on this year? So, no Pokemon, no Metroid, I dare say. But do you reckon they're going to pull like an Animal Crossing or something fun like that out?
I don't. I'm still in two ways about Animal Crossing.
There was
Pocket Camp.
There was a article. Didn't read the article, like a lot of people don't these days. But it was saying that they're doing something to the Animal Crossing site, maybe preparing for a new game. Maybe, I don't know. That could be a lot of shit too.
It could just be smashing out Pocket Camp stuff. You
don't know. Yeah.
The thing is like I appreciate Nintendo trying to break into the mobile market so well, but I feel like Pocket Camp probably isn't a great way to promote the health of your actual mainline games. Because there is a lot of in Pocket. I know it's not a traditional Animal Crossing game, but Pocket Camp is the essentials of an Animal Crossing game, and that's interacting with people, and whether they be virtual or actual people, whether they be NPCs or actual people. So I don't know whether they're just going to stick with more Pocket Camp or what they're going to do. It's really hard to actually name what's going to happen. We still need to hear about the Fire Emblem title.
We do, yeah.
Yeah. That's also going to be big. That's going to be a massive thing, that Fire Emblem title. Because considering the past history of like Awakening being a freaking amazing game, and Fate's following it, probably wasn't as popular, but it held the same values. Do you know what I mean? As Awakening did. And then we had Echoes, their controversy. Apart from that controversy that was going on with Echoes,
the DLC. Pass, yeah.
Apart from the controversy that was going on with Echoes, the actual game was good. People have been waiting for a return for Fire Emblem, and I think it's going to be a big return. I think it's going to be a good return, and I hope that they kind of follow the way that the 3DS games with, and how they handled relationships and stuff like that, and marrying off characters to each other, and them having children. It was good. It was really good, and I hope that they continue that with the Switch version. The question is will we see that this year? I'm
going to say yes. Why not?
You know what? I think it's a possibility.
So. Yeah.
I think it's a possibility. I'm not going to say 100% yes, but I think they already have most of the assets there that they need. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not a huge Fire Emblem guy, just because I'm not into that sort of turn-based strategy, grid sort of combat.
I'm not either, but the story gets me.
Awakening on 3DS really drew me in. It's like, just for the presentation, like those anime cutscenes are just gorgeous, and what they'll be able to do on Switch is just gonna look phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
because they weren't really doing that sort of presentation back on the GameCube and Wii, were they?
No,
it was a bit more, where they really leaned into the anime sort of.
They did,
yeah.
The thing is like I know that Fire Emblem games have always had like a pretty prominent story, but it just felt like with the 3DS games, it felt more like it came to life.
It's the 3D effect, Bryce.
Please don't.
No.
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 I feel like they really came to life, and they pushed more about making the characters more of an emotional push point. And it felt like you got to know the characters a lot more, in that sense.
Yeah.
I felt like, building their relationship with other characters and stuff like that was a lot more meaningful in some ways. And I don't know. I just think there's something that Fire Emblem's on a good path at the moment, like a really good one. And I feel like
it's on a path of radiance. Just, I'm a good host. I just drew this podcast to an absolute standstill.
I just don't know whether to continue or slap you anyway. I think that could be the. I understand that there's more of a meat of a game to it, but that could be more like the narrative thing that you might be looking for, because there is a lot of background character building outside of them combat scenes. You know, you've got character interactions and relationships and stuff like that, and I mean they have that stuff in, like Xenoblade, for example, they had that, but in Fire Emblem there is way more of that. You know what I mean? Every character has an interaction with each other, pretty much, and you know they have their own conversations where
you can make them breed.
They're completely unique. Yeah, they breed. God, you can go marry Crom and then meet your children from the future who've come through a portal.
How cool is that?
It was kind of a twist for me. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing that Fire Emblem does really well, and I think most people can agree on this, is they make Fire Emblem creates very memorable characters. I know that it got late into the scene. The first introduction we got of Marth was on Melee on the GameCube and stuff like that, but in saying that, how memorable of a character is Marth now, despite the fact he still doesn't have a damn English voice? He's still like pretty much Japanese exclusive voice, but everybody knows who Marth is now. Do you know what I mean? And nobody will ever forget that. I'm pretty sure Ike is also getting... He's still not quite there, but I think he's on the same level. I would argue that Crom is probably more recognisable than what Ike is nowadays.
I think so.
Because Crom is... You know, he came from what was a phenomenal game. Not saying that Path of Radiance wasn't.
most of those characters have Smash Bros to thank for being so recognizable and relatable.
I think the importance of Smash Bros was mainly that, hey, it's here now. This is Fire Emblem, and these are the characters. Please be nice to them. Treat them with welcoming respect. And everybody picked them up, and they're like, hey, these characters are kind of cool. Why haven't we seen this? And so they were like, hey, let's test the waters a bit. So they did that, and it worked well. It worked really well. And then when Awakening came out, that just sealed the deal forever. We're always going to get Fire Emblem now.
How crazy is that they were pretty much on the last legs go, okay, this is going to be the last Fire Emblem game, unless it sells really well. And guess what? It sold really well. It
sold really damn well. Because awesome. Awakening was a good game.
Thank God.
Well, yeah.
Like, when Awakening came out, the 3DS was just on a roll, wasn't it?
It blew up.
It's awesome.
It blew up, and I'm glad it did, because, like... And I have never finished Awakening, but restarted it 500 times, because I always want to see what things I want to do differently. You know what I mean? And I will get around to finishing it, but I've always made it close to the end, and then I'll put it down... And then I'm like, why didn't I finish it? Pick it back up again. I'm completely lost where I am, so I go back and I restart again. And, you know, it's back and forth. Like, if anything, yes, Smash Bros. did really push it into, you know, the West. But it only has its own self to thank for its growth. And I'm really glad that it's evolved. And
everyone likes those sword men.
Everybody does like them sword men. Everybody likes Marth. Everybody likes Ike. We like Ike.
We do like Ike.
We do like Ike.
Do you like Ike? Let us know in the comments. So, we think Fire Emblem's coming this year. Why not? Let's just put it out there.
I think so. Yeah.
Why not?
But in terms of other first-party titles, I think it might be a bit too hard to draw a conclusion. You know, Pokemon might be coming. If it does come, I'd be very, very concerned.
I'll be concerned but excited. I'll be like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I think Pokemon needs work before it comes to the Switch, and if they're just going to shelve it out, I'm not going to be. Yeah, it's going to be shelved. You know, I'm not really interested unless they put the effort in, and that's sad to say because I goddamn love Pokemon, but they're getting worse, and it's not improving. Bayonetta 3 and Metroid are the two watches on my list. Apart from Smash Bros, we all know that Smash Bros is pretty much my main priority at this point.
Yeah. Do you think there are any more ports to be announced for this year? Do you reckon like the Metroid Prime trilogy could be announced for Switch port or something?
I think it could.
In preparation? Yeah.
I really do think it could, because the thing is yes, we had the trilogy on the Wii and that was fantastic, but by God, if we don't need it again,
yeah,
we do need it again, and I would buy the shit out of it
with analog stick controls and
and motion controls if you want them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, got the option. Yeah.
It's we have the ability to do that. We have the technology. I think it does need to come to the Switch, and I think it needs to be sooner rather than later. So you know what? I'm not going to bet against that. I think that could be a thing. I'd be very happy if it did.
I'll be thrilled.
Thrilled.
As long as it's $15.
$15. Look, I would pay $80 for 3 games. I would pay $80 for 3 games.
You probably have to if they bring it, so that's good.
It is in the end. It is 3 games, and then Bayonetta 3. I'm in prep for that at the moment. Luckily enough, I have 1 and 2 on Switch, because it was a good idea to port that. Because, well, hey, look, and I'm just as excited for that. Honestly, Bayonetta 2 got stellar reviews, and I'm yet to play through it completely to understand why. But we'll see. We'll see. I think either way, Bayonetta is going to turn out to be a pretty stellar game.
Yeah, Bayonetta 2 is a game on my backlog, which I will play on Wii U.
Really should play the first one as well.
Yeah, I know I should, but
you miss out on half the shit if you don't.
Yeah, I know, but that's another 15, 20 hours.
Oh,
which I don't have.
Oh, you mean the 15, 20 hours you could have had in the last 5 years of owning it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah. I was too busy playing Smash Bros. Or doing something else.
Pretty much. It's unfortunate, but you should go back to it.
Yeah.
I understand that it's not every... I understand that, like...
I'm not saying I don't want to, Bryce.
You should, though.
I'm not saying I don't want to.
You should.
Well, this show's been sort of all over the place, Bryce, but you reckon we should end it?
Well, yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
But I think the Too Long Didn't Read... the Too Long Didn't Read version of this is that... The eShop needs to adjust itself. We need to see improvements on pricing.
Some developers need to think about their pricing, whether it's going to alienate people.
Yeah, literally. I think that's the thing.
Yeah,
and
because stuff like Rocket League and that came out, that was the same price, and it went gangbusters.
Oh yeah,
but Rocket League is in a league of its own. So
Rocket League is a damn good game.
Yeah.
And then E3 this year is going to be exciting. And I'd like to see what they've got in store for us. Will we see Trilogy make a return? Metroid Prime Trilogy make a return?
Hope the Muppets make a return.
Yeah,
that's what I miss. I really miss them doing their sort of really weird sort of presentations. Like lately, it's just been like a normal presentation. But I love the robot chicken. That was
the robot
chicken.
Where's Mother 3?
God, it was good. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
And the Muppets wasn't quite as good, but God, that was very well.
The robot chicken thing was really good. Mainly because like I think most people, even people who support Mother 3, they kind of took the mickey on that though.
That's pretty
you know
funny.
what I mean? They were just like, stop making fun of us. I don't think they were like that at all. I think they were just kind of like, yeah, but where is it though? You know what I mean? Yeah.
But
anyway,
you can't really shoot lasers at me. Where is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bryce, where can they find you on Twitter?
On the Twiddles.
Twitter.
You can find me at Bryce DeWitt.
You can find me at iDruby and the House of Mario at the House of Mario. Join our Discord community where you can speak to some lovely people. Unless you're talking to Bryce, he's not too lovely.
What the fuck?
It's
so rude.
I called you lovely at the start of the episode, and I'm a hypocrite, aren't I? I'm just flip-flopping all over the place.
Yep, like a fish.
If you have the time, or you enjoyed the show, leave a review on iTunes. It's very much appreciated. Helps let us know what's going right or wrong with the show, and helps us climb the charts from 1 million to 1,000,001. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the show is also a part of the 8-Bit Collective. We are a collection of podcasts and video content where we talk about all sorts of different things. There is podcasts ranging from D&D to world news to WrestleMania to TV to video games.
Yeah, the guys over 8-Bit Mania are just smashing our episodes this week because there's heaps of wrestling stuff going on, apparently.
Yeah, massive, yeah. There was like previews and stuff like that coming out for all that stuff, and their Twitter's just been...
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's good to see them active. It's just unfortunate that most of that stuff moves with the timing of WWE news.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
There was a couple of weeks ago or whatever, they were really struggling to find get a cast together because it's so like spontaneous, and
yeah, it is.
They've really got to follow that schedule.
Absolutely, yeah. So I suppose when they get them out, they can get them out though.
Yeah. So if you're into wrestling, go and check them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll be a link in the show notes for those guys.
Oh yeah. Check out all of those lovely people because they all run really good shows.
Definitely do, and you might see me on a couple of them in the near future.
Oh hey, look, you were in long ago.
No, I've got to cut that out, Bryce. They don't know that yet.
Shit.
Yeah, it's not out yet. I've got to cut that out.
Damn. Just know what you need to do is you need to just put a bleeping sound effect over that.
Ah.
Do that.
Okay, do that. All right. You guys don't know.
You'll hear from him soon.
Yeah, you'll see it soon. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Nintendo Jukebox.
Oh, yes. We have a Nintendo Jukebox.
Yeah, this week's Nintendo Jukebox is Sticker Brush Symphony by Ultimate D-Pad.
Mm.
It's good. It's very good.
Sounds like a... just trying to come up with a bad pun, but I can't. Damn it.
It sounds like a bush of a time.
No. No, that didn't work. Save the embarrassment and we'll end it here.
Yeah. All right.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to this random episode, guys. Catch you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.